Level 1. The chosen student. You are 20 years old. You study international relations at one of China's most prestigious universities. You are sharp, disciplined, fluent in 2 foreign languages without an accent. And for the past 4 months, someone has been quietly building a file on you. You don't know that yet. You're sitting in a lecture hall right now, taking notes, planning your weekend, thinking about your future. While 3 floors above you, in an office you have never noticed, a man is reading a 12-page document about your life. Your grades, your family background, your political reliability score, your language abilities, your psychological profile, assembled from interviews with people you consider friends. He closes the folder. He makes one phone call, and your life, the one you thought you were building quietly, stops being yours. The recruitment doesn't look like a recruitment. There is no dark room, no pressure, no stranger in a doorway making threats. It happens over tea. A professor you have spent 2 years trying to impress invites you to stay after class one Tuesday afternoon. He asks about your family, your ambitions, whether you have ever considered serving your nation in a way most people simply never get the opportunity to. He doesn't name any organization. He speaks quietly, warmly, like a man offering something rare to someone he genuinely believes has earned it. And you feel honored. That feeling is not an accident. It was engineered before he said a single word. 2 weeks later, a man in a plain gray suit meets you on a bench near campus. Completely unremarkable. Average height, average build, the kind of face you would struggle to describe an hour after leaving. That, you will eventually understand, is the highest professional compliment this world gives a person. He places a single form on the bench between you. No explanation, no sales pitch, no pressure. You pick up the pen, you sign. You said yes before you fully understood what you were agreeing to. And here is the thing nobody tells you at this level. Every single person who has ever climbed this ladder made the exact same decision at the exact same level of understanding. None of them knew what was coming. Neither do you, but you're about to find out. Level 2. The invisible training year. You disappear for 11 months. Your family is told you received a prestigious government scholarship abroad. Your friends assume you're somewhere in Europe. Your phone number stops working. Your social media goes silent. The facility where you actually spend those 11 months does not appear on any map your friends could find. And the training is nothing like you imagined. No weapons ranges on day 1. No dramatic combat sequences. No field exercises through forests at midnight. What there is something far more difficult than any of that. Month 1. You learn to follow a human being through a crowded city for 6 consecutive hours without once appearing to look at them. 6 hours, 0 mistakes, 1 error, and you start from the beginning. Month 2. You learn to construct a cover identity so completely real, so specifically lived in, that when you describe growing up in a city you have never once visited, you believe yourself while the words leave your mouth. Month 3. You learn the single most important lesson this institution will ever teach you. Your real name, the one your mother gave you, is now the most dangerous piece of information you carry. The instructors never raise their voices. They never threaten. They simply repeat one principle quietly until it becomes the operating system behind every thought you have. An operative who is noticed has already failed. By month 11, you have not broken. You have not quit. You have not complained once. You have simply become something that did not exist before you walked through that gate. The original version of you is still in there somewhere. They built something else directly on top of him, and they left him just intact enough, just recognizable enough to be useful at the next level. Level 3. Domestic Surveillance Operator. Your first real assignment is inside China. The target? A foreign journalist. Based in Shanghai, 34 years old, files stories for a mid-sized European publication. You know his coffee order before you know his voice. You know his wife's name, his editor's direct line, and the exact table he sits at every Thursday at 2 in the afternoon when he meets his primary source. You know all of this because you have been reading every message he sends and receives. 3 full weeks before anyone assigned you officially to his case. You sit in a white panel van, 4 blocks from his apartment, laptop open, cold water beside you. This is your office now. The MSS runs the world's most comprehensive domestic surveillance operation. Foreign nationals, journalists, academics, dissidents, monitored through a system that connects digital surveillance, physical tracking, and what researchers have documented as secret detention facilities used for high-value targets. The Golden Shield, the social credit infrastructure, human surveillance teams like yours. It is not 3 separate systems. It is one system, and you are part of it now. Here is what the journalist is writing about. Factory working conditions in a state-linked manufacturing province. Not military intelligence. Not classified government operations. Not anything that threatens national security in any direct measurable way. He is just inconvenient. And in this system, inconvenient and dangerous are filed in the same category. You submit your report on a Wednesday evening. Thursday morning. The journalist's source receives 2 visitors he has never seen before. The story is never filed. The journalist is quietly transferred out of the country within 60 days. You sleep well that night. And that specific ordinary moment of sleeping well is the one you should pay attention to. Because you didn't struggle with it. Not even for a second. The line moved. You didn't feel it. The file on his desk never reached his editor. You made sure of that before he even finished writing it. Level 4. Foreign Intelligence Spotter. You are 26 now. New city. New cover. New business cards. Commercial attaché. Chinese consulate. A major Western capital. Your real job has no title that exists on any document anywhere. The MSS operates on a doctrine that Western intelligence agencies spent decades trying to fully understand. Analysts eventually named it the 1,000 grains of sand. While the CIA invests deeply in recruiting a small number of high-value, deeply embedded sources, the MSS builds something fundamentally different. Hundreds of low-level sources simultaneously. Students, business people, academics, diaspora community members, government administrators, corporate employees. Each grain alone is small, unremarkable, easily dismissed. Together, they form a picture no single spy could ever provide. Your job is to find the grains. You attend university events, technology conferences, community dinners, alumni gatherings at research institutions. You are looking for a specific combination every single time. Access, financial pressure, quiet resentment, the particular loneliness of someone living between 2 worlds without fully belonging to either one. You find him on a Tuesday afternoon at a semiconductor research conference. Chinese American, mid-20s, PhD candidate at a respected technical university. His research touches chip architecture that would save years of state development if it transferred to the right hands. Brilliant, underpaid, and when the conversation drifts toward home, something shifts behind his eyes for just a moment. You recognize it immediately. You file your report that evening. His name, his institution, his research focus, his financial situation, his psychological profile based on 40 minutes of conversation, his potential value assessed as high. You never speak to him again. What happens to him next is no longer your department. You didn't ruin his life. You simply noticed he could be useful. In this world, those are the same sentence. Level 5. Handela Air. Running foreign assets. You are 30 years old. You manage 4 people. They have never been in the same room as each other. None of them know your real name. 2 of them are not entirely certain which government they are ultimately reporting to. This is what running human intelligence actually looks like. Asset 1. Administrative assistant at a Western defense contractor. Access to procurement records, internal project timelines, supplier relationships. Asset 2. Mid-level official inside a European government ministry. Access to pre-public trade policy, negotiating positions and names. Assets 3 and 4. You don't discuss those in any setting that isn't absolutely necessary. Communication follows strict layered protocol, encrypted applications with automatic message destruction, dead drops, physical handoffs in ordinary public locations where information transfers without both parties ever appearing together, financial compensation routed through a shell corporation registered in Hong Kong, through a second entity in Singapore, into accounts dissolved within 90 days of each payment. The FBI has built prosecutions around exactly this structure. They find the outer shell every time. They almost never find the center. Then, one of your assets contacts you on a channel he was explicitly instructed never to use. He is frightened. He wants out. He has a daughter now. He says he didn't agree to this level of risk and he is finished. You have been trained for precisely this conversation. You know every word to say. You know how to make a frightened person feel temporarily safe. You know exactly how to help someone understand, calmly, clearly, without a single threat, what walking away actually costs them. Not as intimidation, as simple, patient arithmetic. 3 days later, his next report arrives. On schedule. Complete. Professional. Loyalty in this world is never built on trust. It is built on making sure the other person has too much to lose to choose anything else. Level 6. Corporate Espionage Director. You are no longer watching people. You are running operations. The target, a Western aerospace company, publicly listed, 40,000 employees across 12 countries, 14 years and an estimated $4 billion invested in propulsion technology for a next-generation defense aircraft. Your operation will cost approximately $2 million. It has been running for 3 years. The architecture is layered and clean. Inside the company, 1 recruited asset, a procurement manager, financial exposure, mid-level security clearance, in place for 22 months, running parallel, a cyber unit you have communicated with only through 2 intermediaries. They have maintained persistent access to the company's internal network through a vendor software vulnerability the company's own IT security team has not yet identified. Not once in 14 months. Waiting at the receiving end, a technical front company, registered in a neutral jurisdiction, staffed with engineers who know only what they need to know and nothing beyond it. The operation operation succeeds. Completely. The technical files transfer across a 72-hour window. Clean, traceless. The front company dissolves within 30 days. Your inside asset receives a performance promotion 6 months later. The cyber unit is already running their next operation before this one officially closes. You receive a commendation that does not appear on any record visible to anyone outside this room. A brief ceremony. 3 people present. No documentation. No photographs. The FBI estimates that state-linked intellectual property theft costs the American economy somewhere between $200 and $600 billion every single year. Standing in that room, you wait to feel something. Pride. The weight of what was taken. Anything. Nothing arrives. The company won't discover what's missing for another 3 acres. By then, it's already flying. Level 7. Counterintelligence Hunter. They give you a different kind of assignment now. Not targets outside the system. Targets inside it. Someone within a provincial MSS bureau has been quietly feeding information to a foreign intelligence service. 18 months. 3 operations compromised before completion. 1 overseas asset identified and burned. The source has been careful, patient, disciplined in a way that suggests they received professional training from the other side. Under China's 2017 National Intelligence Law, every Chinese citizen, every Chinese company, every Chinese institution is legally required to cooperate with state intelligence operations upon request. No judicial review, no right of refusal. The system has no gaps because the gaps were closed by law before anyone thought to look for them. You are what happens when the law isn't enough. You know the leak window, a 6-week period, January through February, 2 consecutive years. You know the access tier required to reach all 3 compromised operations simultaneously. You have 3 names on a list. 11 days later, you have 1. What follows is not what films show you. No bright light over a chair, no raised voices, no evidence of anything that would create problems for anyone later. It is a conversation, plain room, 4 days, conducted by someone who already knows every answer and is simply building the record with the patience of someone who has done this many times before. On the 4th day, he tells you everything. Why he did it, how long, what they paid him, what he was afraid of. He has children, a reason he believed was real enough to justify what he chose. You write your report, you submit it, you go home. His family still has a father. Technically, what that means in practice over the years that follow is classified above your current clearance and no longer part of your file. You stopped asking those questions somewhere around level 3. You have become the thing the system never has to think about, the mechanism that keeps the machine clean. Level 8, the ghost. You have a different name now, a Western name, on a Western passport, issued by a country you have visited enough times to answer questions without hesitation. You have an apartment in a European capital, 5 years of paper trail behind it. Receipts, utility bills, lease agreements, a carefully maintained social media presence built by a support team you have never met in person. Your neighbors know you as a quiet professional who travels frequently for work. You have been this person for so long that the 20-year-old who signed a form on a park bench feels like a character from a story you read once, someone younger, someone softer, someone who still had the full version of himself. This is what the MSS calls a non-official cover operative. No diplomatic protection if something goes wrong. No consulate to call. No government that will acknowledge your name. Your file does not exist. The 2 people who know your real identity will say nothing, because saying something would cost them everything they have. You accepted this a long time ago. More than accepted it. It no longer registers as a loss. Then, on an ordinary Tuesday morning, a message arrives through a protocol you have not used in 4 years. The header contains your real name, the one only 2 people in the world still know. New tasking. You read it once. Close the application. The message is already gone. You sit by the window with your coffee. The street below is quiet. Morning light. People walking to work. A woman with a bag over her shoulder. 2 men talking outside a cafe. And a young man, sitting at a table near the window of the cafe across the street. Textbook open in front of him. That particular sharp, hungry look of someone who has just been noticed by the right person and doesn't know it yet. You recognize that look. You wore it once. You finish your coffee. The report you file that evening includes his name, his university, his language profile, his preliminary value assessment. The machine does not stop. It never stopped. It was running before you arrived, and it will keep running long after every version of you is gone.